We are starting round 7 with the one and onlys.
with us.
Yeah. Wade Sankey and Chancey Williams. I'm excited for this episode because I didn't know you guys grew up together and have all this history together. So, let's just get into the beginning of this duo, Rowdy duo. How did that all begin? Where you guys grew up around the same area?
Yeah, we were in Wyoming high school rodeo, and Wade was winning everything and barely knew who I was. Don't want to be friends with him.
And Chancey was always playing the guitar at some trailer somewhere, and
Yeah.
that's where we hung out.
Yeah.
So, high school rodeo.
Yep. Wade, you rode all 3, didn't you?
No.
No.
You rode barebacks and broncs, so.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Wade was tough. Rode bareback stuff. We had tons of great friends growing up. Nathan Graves, all these. Yes, and then we college rodeo together. You went to Riverton?
No, I actually went to Powell.
That's right, Powell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've known each other a long time.
Dude, that's awesome.
Been bucked off lots of Wade's horses. Yeah, appreciate that.
Me too.
Yeah. When did you guys start getting on bucking horses? How old were you?
I was like a freshman, basically. I got on a couple as an 8th grader, but I don't really count that. Freshman in high school, kind of started getting on some practice horses and wanted to high school rodeo, but I never got to start riding broncs. I was about a sophomore. My mom didn't really want us riding broncs because seen a couple guys get hurt in our area pretty bad. She put the halt to it, but finally talked her into it and got to ride. So I was about a freshman. You were probably younger.
Yeah, I got on my first one when I was 14.
Yeah.
14. So
you grew up as the son of a stock
I was going to say
contractor.
it's a little different when you have that is the whole life that you're around.
Yeah.
How did your dad or whoever got you on your first horses? How did they approach that?
Well, he knows Ike. I don't know if you know Ike or not.
I haven't met Ike.
The thing about Ike is he's pretty straightforward. And so I guess my rodeo career started when I wanted to ride steers. I was 8 or 10 years old, and we were still raising bulls at the time. And I told Ike I wanted to ride steers. And so we went and built a set of spurs, and we braided a bull rope, and then we went and gathered all our 3-year-old bulls and run them in, and here you go, kid. Here's one.
God.
And it was legit. Never been in a chute before.
Hardly
I just
seen
wanted to be
you.
a steer rider.
Just a steer rider.
I love that you're like, we braided our own ropes. That's what Dad did too. My dad would braid our own bull ropes, our own steer ropes.
We're not buying this stuff.
Yeah, we're poor. Yeah, Dad would braid them out of grass ropes, and that's funny.
And then that was it. I got on one, and I was terrified, and I got off, and he said, well, you want another one? Nope, I get it. Bull riding is out. I'm done with that.
Out.
Yeah.
So, got on your first horse at 14?
Yeah, I got on my first horse at 14, and Ike was the coach at Northwest College in Powell, Wyoming.
Yeah.
And so we were always bucking horses there on the place, and there was always college kids around there, and had everything set up. It was easy, just run one in, get on, black out, fall off, do it again.
Which one did you prefer, barebacks or broncs?
I always wanted to be a bronc rider, but I was a good bareback rider.
Oh, that's cool.
It was an accident that I ever entered bareback riding, but it was just a lot easier.
You know, Frank says that same story. He wanted to be a bronc rider. He sucks at bronc riding. He's a really good bareback rider.
I wanted to be a bareback rider. I just wasn't strong enough.
I
was too weak.
Too weak.
Speaking of that, why are we on a fitness podcast?
That's right. I know.
I don't know. I heard you guys were fit.
Yeah. Maybe I should do a few push-ups.
Flex and bust out of this shirt right now.
Well, if you buy them small enough, it makes you look like
That's
you have
exactly
muscles.
right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So you go to Baby Gap.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Some funny stories from you guys growing up that come to mind. We'll let Chancey go first. I know he's like
Man, I don't know if we have a lot of funny, crazy stories, man. We just had a great time, rodeoing in Wyoming was fun. It's such a small state, and so everybody knows everybody from every town. If you ride rough stock or even their open events, everybody knew everybody in high school rodeos. And like Wade said, I had a band in high school, so we'd haul the band around to high school rodeos, and we'd sneak off into some barn somewhere and play some music and drink some beer, and everybody'd almost get in trouble. And it was just a lot of fun, and for years, always having high school finals in Gillette was like a hometown thing, and then moved it our senior year to Springfield. But, I guess just a lot of the great stories of having some great friends. We're talking about our friend who's no longer with us, Nathan Graves, and Wade were real close, and I was close with Nathan. He had tons of fun stories. What a great human he was.
Yeah, we could tell stories about Nathan for longer than this podcast is going to last.
Nathan was Graves, a great bareback rider, bronc rider, and bull rider. He rode all three. And and his dad and my dad grew up together. They went to Wayne won the high school finals in 1968 in the bareback ride, and then he went with Dad and them to the high school finals in San Antonio when my dad was a senior as a coach. So Nathan and Wayne grew up together. So we grew up with Nathan, and he was wild. So Nathan's from Barnum, Wyoming, which is like the old West is KC, but you go west another hour to Barnum. Like when Nathan would come to town, he hadn't seen people in months.
Maybe not any till he was 14, and that's where the hole in the wall is.
Yeah, that's where the hole in the wall is, where the Butch Cassidy and the guys hung. But man, he would come to Laramie and visit us in college, and it was the Wild West. Like, come to the bar, bring his own bottle of whiskey, and they're like, you can't do that. And he's like, why? Like, I don't get it. So yeah, just those type stories, and Wade and I have stayed friends the whole time because he's still involved in rodeo, and we end up playing a lot of rodeos. And so yeah, one of my longest rodeo friends are the guys that I knew in high school, which is one of them's Wade.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
And there's some family history too. You should tell a story about Jubilee.
Yeah. So Sankeys have always had great horses. Like growing up, I could have a lot of the high school rodeos and college rodeos, but they had a horse that made the NFR. We can't even remember how many times. A lot of times. Named Jubilee, this mare.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a saddle horse that come from Newcastle, Wyoming, from Fred and Claire Wilson. And my dad back in the day rode colts and broke horses for a lot of people. And Fred had this horse, Jubilee, wanted my dad to ride. And I called my dad this morning to refresh my memory because this horse made the NFR so many times, but bucked. Dad's like, yeah, I put 20 rides. I rode that horse 20 days. And he said this thing would try to buck me off 10 to 15 times a day hard and never give it up. He said as soon as she caught her breath, she would go back to bucking me off. And Dad said, he's like, I was hard to throw off back then. She never threw him off, but he said he finally called Fred back and said, hey, man, I don't want to ride this horse anymore. She ain't giving it up. And he said Fred took it to Bucking Horse Sale in Rapid City, and it didn't bring much, so he brought it home and then brought it to Ike. And it was one of their strong mares in their bucking program.
Yeah, she was a staple, and she rodeoed for a long time, and one of Ike's favorite horses.
Was Jamboree out of Jubilee?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Jamboree was also one of their great bucking horses too. But those things bucked, and Kelly Wardell was from Warcroft, and Dad helped Kelly start, riding barebacks, and we have when I'm so old, like. Home footage came out. My mom had a video camera. We were over at Kelly had a real small barn over there, and Dad was helping him. But there's a really great picture of Kelly on Jubilee at Pendleton, like a picture perfect bareback riding picture. He signed it to Dad and said, "Here's your horse." Nice job of breaking it.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. It's saddle horses, like horses that are broke, and there obviously are these anomalies that the horses like to buck. How often do you come across horses like that are just, you're not going to break their spirit, they're going to continue to do it?
Well, I mean, they're either going to do it or they're not going to do it. They want to do it. And, the game has changed so much since Jubilee. Jubilee was one of the staples of the start of our breeding program. But now if somebody calls and they said, we've got one that bucks, it would have to be, somebody I know really is damn sure cowboy that knows what they're talking about for me to even entertain the thought of taking that horse to a rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just these horses have gotten so much better, and those kind of horses don't really work anymore just because the breeding's so much different. Jubilee, William, Wee Willie, those are all horses that we bought that had been rode before, but even now, those horses, they'd still be nice horses, but
they wouldn't compete.
But they wouldn't be NFR horses.
Right.
They wouldn't be here.
Yeah. It's funny, like, when we were growing up, we had practice horses in Moorcroft, and everybody in the Tri-County area, be like, oh man, we got one that bucks. And so, you know, that's how we acquired our little practice string. And I would say, like Wade said, even 90% of those, if you spur them once,
They're done.
yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks that they have a horse that is a man killer that can never be rode until, you know, you buck them once and spur them hard, they decide pretty quick
I don't
whether
like
they're
that.
either going to do it or they're not.
Yeah.
And you can tell, but like Wade said, the business has changed with the bucking horses. I mean, just watching the NFR now from even 10 years ago, they buck, you know, and it's those saddle horses are rare. I think that that really want it forever, like Gaddafi, William, like all those were saddle horses. But Wade made a good point. Putting them in the pen today with some of these, they'd be good horses, but it's different.
Totally different game.
Yeah.
It really is.
And those horses might still exist. I mean, there might be some saddle horses out there that could compete here, but just an example is the last horse that we bought was in 2000, and that was a stud that we bought from
2000,
Calgary.
yeah.
So we've raised every horse
For the last 25
the
years.
last 25 years.
Man, that is super cool.
So you grew up with it, like buying some horses but raising some horses. How fun is it? No, I'm not interviewing Wade.
No, you're good. Hold it closer. Yeah.
Listen, Wade Sankey here, everybody. How fun is it now, like, to have horses like Black Tie that you've raised from a colt to have that type of success? Like, I guess people that aren't stock contractors don't know that feeling. It's like, what's that feel like to own Black Tie?
Wow. I mean, that's just speechless. Like, there's no way to answer the Black Tie subject. He exists. We raised him. We own him. I still can't believe it.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that he exists.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Well, it's like, you know, Cheyenne's so special to us from Wyoming. They've won the short go, the short go around on the Black Tie the last 3-4 years. Like, I don't
At
know how
least,
many
yeah.
years. Like, if you have the Black Tie in the short go, you're probably gonna
Do
unless
your
you stub
job, and it's
toe,
going to work out well
yeah,
for you.
Just don't mess them up.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that'd be the hardest part of drawing something like him is just not getting in your own way, getting in your head about it.
that's Chet Johnson.
Speaking of Wyoming Cowboys,
Yeah. Who have been around through all of our careers and are still around.
me and Chet started riding broncs together. He was from Lusk, and I was from Moorcroft. So we'd meet in Newcastle every Wednesday, and he had a couple little practice horses, and I'd have a couple practice horses, and Craig Devereaux would come pick up for us, and Dad would come, and we'd meet every Wednesday. Me and A-Dub and Chet would meet in Newcastle. So me and Chet always talk about it. Like, he rode a lot longer than I did and a lot better than I did, but those were the good old days when we started. Man, Chet was riding like he does still today, or, you know, a few years ago. He was riding that good in high school, like really showy, really flashy. Like, he was the king, man. He's had a great career.
Yeah. So you'll love this story. Chet got on Black Tie in Lewiston.
Yeah.
And we just got to talking. And we've had 4 horses win Bucking Horse of the Year. We've had Schizo, Wild Card, Surprise Party, and Black Tie. And he was getting on Black Tie, and I just, out of curiosity, said, "Did you ever get on Schizo?" "Yep." Told me that story. "Did you ever get on Wild Card?" "Yep." Told me that story. "Did you ever get on Surprise Party?" "Yep." That's
He's been on
amazing.
all
That
I know.
career.
That he's been on them all.
That, yeah.
Well, he went a long time, you know, and really to stay that healthy. You
That's
know,
what I was
ride
gonna say
long
that,
time,
like-
everybody knows the older you get, it's a little hard to stay like that. And, you know, people ask me a lot in interviews, "Would you like to do it again?" I would love to do it again. But, like, your reaction time and your body can't take that.
No.
You know, and if I could be guaranteed, if God was to say, "You're not going to get hurt, get on another one," I would for fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, break my neck and your life's different.
Yeah.
So-
Absolutely.
Sandy Bob Forbes said it best. He told me one time, "There's 40 pounds of me that ain't never been on a bronc."
Yeah, it's right though. Things change. I got to get on after my injury 7 years later.
Yeah.
It took me 6 months of just training to get my body to a place where I was like, okay, I feel good to go get on. And then I made sure it was really controlled when I got on. I called Reagan and Levi. I was like, you know what I need to get on. They loaded me up Jesse's Girl. It was the best thing ever. And after that, I was like, I'm done, because every time I watch the E-pin and everything but the 5-pin and the 1-pin, I'm out.
Yeah,
Hoppers Only Association, I'm in.
The game has changed, man. Like, I would say the top 30 and Bears and Bronx. These guys ride, maybe in the top 40 guys. Like they ride different than I used to ride, for sure. Like it's unbelievable, and the reaction time and the drive of somebody that's 21 or 22 is even different when you're 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched the guys over the years. You know, if you've been hurt once a little bit and you're in your 30s, I feel like there's a small hesitation. It's even subconscious that you don't ride it as good as those guys that are 21 that they've never been hurt. They don't know what else it feels like just to fully go for it. So it's a tough game. I mean, ask anybody that's done it.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't drive a car for a year,
right?
It's going to be different.
Yes.
Multiply that by 10,000.
Yeah, and the speed and just everything, the intensity. Like we're not just getting behind the wheel; you're tying off to something that's going to kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I loved doing it when I was young. It was fun. Fun in college. Paid for college. Built my music career. I think the only reason I think we're successful in music is because of rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
When we were playing a lot, all these committee members now are people I used to rodeo with. So like, hey, have Chancey play the concert.
Yeah.
So music, it got me where I am because of rodeo.
Yeah.
So like I'm glad I did it, and I think it's something that's in you. It's never really out of you, like that feeling of getting on.
Mm-hmm.
I still dream about it.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up thinking like that feeling right before you nod it will never go away. I don't think.
No.
My dad says that. He said he'll have dreams about it, and Mom will say he'll be spurring the sheets in the middle of the night in a dream. And Dad's in his 70s. I think it's something that stays with rodeo cowboys forever.
I agree with that.
To
I still
compete
have
at that
dreams
level
about
and that adrenaline rush is, it's second to nothing, really.
You remember the feeling? I don't know if you guys got this or not, but when you woke up in the morning and knew you were going to get on a bucking horse that day,
Yeah,
it was a different day.
I know.
It felt different.
yeah,
Mhm.
it did for sure.
I still get
Oh,
my
man, I
hands
just
get
got
all
kinda
sweaty and stuff.
goosebumps
Yeah, I know.
there.
I'm sitting here like
Is
getting
that
all
today?
worked
Do I have
up.
to get on
Yeah.
today? Oh God.
Yeah. But even watching rodeo still, I cannot sit still during national anthem because I was always like,
Yeah.
it's go time. It's time to go right now. And so it stays with you. Being a cowboy stays with you in everything you do.
Yeah.
Okay. You grew up in a stock contracting family. Was there ever a time where you were on the fence about continuing on family legacy?
Oh, absolutely. I think everybody goes through transitions in their life, and like right when I should have been going to rodeos to try to go to the NFR, I got sour and I got tired of rodeo, and I went and built log houses for a while. I mean, I had to get away from it. I was so involved in it my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a different perspective on it, and I think that's actually helped me in the business because of the perspective that I got for the little short period of time when I was away from it, you know? So, yeah, I mean, it's best. Everybody complains about the game.
Yeah.
It's the best game, but you still got to step away from it because it is a game.
Yeah, and it can kind of destroy you at times if you let it.
Yeah, it's not an easy lifestyle for sure, you know, like, and the stock contract thing, you know, like,
Yeah.
because you know, Wade raises those. Like, when do you guys crack out those horses when they're 4 or 5? Like, so you're raising those horses till they're fairly old before you ever know if they're gonna
Do
work.
anything.
So, I mean, the amount of time it goes into getting a horse like Black Tie, if ever, you know, is a long time. You know, we neighbor the Birches up there and friends with friends, and so like we've been fortunate in Wyoming to have some great stock contractors growing up to get on stuff, but we've seen it, you know, the percentage of the horses that are these NFR pins is small, right?
It's staggering. I mean, we have the conversation. I don't know how many bucking horses actually exist in the world. I asked Ike one time, how many bucking horses are there in the world, and his response was 12.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you feed these horses and raise them, and then you start bucking them, and it might be a couple years. They might be 7 or 8 by the time they come around, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's tough. That's tough business.
Bill Larson told me one time, you never know if they're any good until they're dead.
Yeah.
Seems sick, but it's true.
That is kind of true. There's another cowboy of Wyoming, Bill Larson, one of the greatest picket men ever and horsemen. And yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with Bill, and him and Dad were friends. And yeah, love Bill Larson.
When did you like know music was going to be the way you wanted to go?
Yeah, I guess kind of after college.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't actually.
Are we still doing
Still
that?
like they're still paying me to do this. You know, so like I went to Casper College, rode Bronx, and then the University of Wyoming. You know, it was fun. I loved
Was
it.
George the coach there?
He was.
Man, I rodeoed for him for a semester.
Yeah.
I was not cut out for college then. I was in a different phase of my life.
I really enjoyed Casper College. My dad rodeoed there, and then Tom Parker was the coach there, and really respected Tom as a human. He was, you know, like a second dad. But, you know, made the college finals a couple times, and then started rodeoing. But it was right about then we started playing a lot too. So I was playing music, riding Bronx, and then I was picking up too. So I'd pick up for Survey some, and Hank and Lori some, and Bill Larson's the one that kind of trained me how to pick up, and I enjoyed that too. It was fun. So there were some rodeos that I would ride and pick up, just switch shafts in the middle and go do both.
So cool.
And then some nights we'd play the concert after. And
You ever do
felt
all
like,
three?
Huh?
You ever do all three?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
But it was like mediocre at all three. Like I felt like I wasn't riding Bronx like I should have been, because I was like, well, I got to go pick up. And then I wasn't playing music like I probably should have been, because like, well, I got to ride today and pick up. And so at one point, Dad's like, why don't you just pick one and do it really good, whether it's bronc riding or picking up. And so I chose music just because of the longevity of it. You know, I figured I could sing a lot longer than I could rodeo. And you can pick up even later in life, you know, I mean, maybe for fun. But like, you know, riding Bronx, I probably had a few years left, I guess. In hindsight, maybe I'd have went a couple more hard just to see. I don't know, but the music thing kind of started taking off. I moved to Nashville. I had to do an internship to finish my master's degree, and while I was there, I worked for Toby Keith and did a record while I was down there, and kind of then I was like, music kind of took the back burner. I was good friends with Billy Sutton. He got paralyzed that year, and I was like, you know what? I think music's going to be what I do.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was a decision I just had to make at that moment. I knew I could do it a lot longer, and it's let me continue to rodeo, basically. I'm, you know, here at the NFR playing the showroom at the South Point, so I still get to rodeo. I just don't have to get bucked off anymore.
It's
just
kind of
nice.
And you get paid every time.
Yeah.
It's super nice.
Yeah, so I'm glad I did what I did, but, you know, like I said, hindsight, maybe I'd have went another year just to go for it kind of hard. But I was kind of like Wade. I'd done it a long time, too, and I think if your heart's not in it, like you're super focused on it, you're not beating anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I was getting on to get on. Even some of them later college roadies at the end, they were just like kind of mailing it in, you know. So you're not going to win anything. It's a good place to get hurt if your brain's not in it that way. So I was like, good time to step away.
It's definitely one of those things you've got to be all in or it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
And
because the guy, one shoot down from you, his head is in it. You're not beating him. So like, yeah.
No, that's it. You brought up something really interesting, and you were, when you were playing, picking up, and riding all at the same time, you were spread too thin to do any of them well.
Yeah.
And that applies to so much. What you got?
That's still pretty cool, though.
Oh, no,
it
that's
was
so
fun.
badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Who else can say that? I don't.
Well,
don't
like
know,
I said,
I
the
only know
picking
one.
up thing was also fun too, because you're still rodeoing.
Yeah,
and You're still
absolutely.
kind of in the thick of it. And remember the year at Bozeman they did the college playoffs where they had all three regions for 2 years. That was fun. So they had three regions together, and you had another chance to make the CNFR. Well, like the first horse out, this picket man up there gets kicked in the foot and breaks his foot. And like, we need a picket man. Tom Parker, my coach, was like, Chancey will pick up. So I picked the whole rodeo up, and I got on and rode in it. So I'd switch off with Andy Bolich. Yeah. So me and Andy tag teamed the second picket man part up there, and that was a lot of fun. They paid me and Andy both. And remember that horse that Flying Five had, Sundance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got on Sundance up there, and he fell down at the whistle. And I was actually going to maybe do good. I was making a hell of a ride, and he fell down. I'm like, damn it. But got on Sundance at those playoffs and picked the whole thing up and made a couple decent pickup moves. There was that one bareback rider that used to ride for Riverton, got hung up real bad, and I was just in the right spot. And everybody's like, man, that was a hell of a move. And I think I actually just kind of fumbled my rope, and it fell on.
Just worked out that
And
way.
for years, he's like, man, you saved my life up there. I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't want to tell you. I was just kind of right in the right spot, and You know,
Not sure how it happened.
it was. I really enjoyed picking up. I had a good, I had 6 horses, and I was going to quite a few, and picked up with Dwayne Gilbert a lot at the end. And Dwayne, to me, is one of the best hands picket men out there. I learned a lot from Dwayne. But Bill Larson kind of taught me a lot of the tricks. He had that crop-eared stud redneck that he always had, and at Casper College, like, get on a redneck today, and you just put the reins down. He would just
He'd do it for you.
Yeah, Chuck Holloway picked up on redneck at the finals one year here too. It was a great stud.
Man, that's cool.
But yeah, it was fun, man. I missed all that stuff. But
How do you both think that what you do, being a stock contractor, being in the music industry, impact the culture of rodeo similarly yet like different? How do you make an impact on our industry?
Well, I think the ways they're similar is it's all the entertainment industry, and so
for sure.
the rodeo is about ticket sales, it is about sponsors, it's about support, and it's about entertainment.
For sure, yeah. Like, great rodeos don't happen without great horses and great stock. So, that's a huge thing. And I tell people that all the time. Me and Flint talk about it. Me and a lot of these guys talk about it. Announcers, singers, rodeo clowns, like, we're all entertainers, and it's a weird business.
Yeah.
And so, I guess I feel like my contribution to rodeo is like I try to sing accurate songs about cowboys. The music business is weird. There's not a lot of cowboys real cowboys in
Real
country music.
cowboys,
So
yeah.
there's a lot of songs come out about cowboys that aren't like lyrically written accurate to what we do on the road. And maybe some of my songs are a little insider. Like, there's some lyrics that are in my songs that, somebody from Nashville on Broadway doesn't understand what that means. What's X and 2? Or what, like, what's crack the latch mean? Like, so
Yeah.
those are things that when I'm writing and stuff and recording music, I want to put stuff out for my friends. Wade Sankey might hear this song, and I don't want to be like, what's up, Nashville?
Yeah.
I want him to be like, oh, dude, that's accurate.
Mhm.
Or like, you guys. So
Because his friends will tease him.
exactly.
Yes.
My friends are still rodeo cowboys
You
and,
still have to be
and
authentic.
ranchers. So, like, if I put something out, like, I get pitched tons of rodeo songs, cowboy songs from Nashville, and some are great. And a guy like Tim McGraw could do them because he's not a cowboy, but he can sing about cowboys. I'm a cowboy singing for cowboys, for my friends. And like, we just wrote one that we just got done called Rodeo in the Rain. It's about a rainy day at Cheyenne because it never rains at Cheyenne. Yeah. And so I wrote it with my friend Bryce. He's my producer, and he's from Kentucky, but he roped a bunch. Bryce writes like great. He's wrote a bunch of number ones, but he knows rodeo. So, like, for us to write these, it has to have these little lyrics in there that the cowboys will be like, kind of give you a nod. Mm-hmm. The general public's like, that's cool. What is that? Maybe they learn a little bit about rodeo from my songs. So that's what I like. The songs I like to put out is pretty cowboy stuff that is a little insider that people get.
Yeah.
The rodeo cowboys get.
It's authentic to
Yeah.
you, which
Yeah.
I think
Well,
is
that's all I
the
know
whole
how to
point
sing
of doing
about.
this. Yeah.
I
wanna
always
go-
tell people, like, I can't. All these people in the South write songs about, football in the South and NASCAR and stuff. I don't know anything about that. Like, I can't sing about that. And if I do, I got friends like Inger here that'll call me out. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Something
When's the
similar
last
to
time
if you don't
you
go to
went
his Christmas party?
surfing on the coast, bro?
Yeah, bro.
I've never seen you do that literally in your whole life.
Yeah, what are you doing? I want to step back to the entertainment part of this. This is the entertainment industry. In your business, I don't think people realize it's not just raising livestock. You are doing an entire production. How many times a year? How many rodeos you guys have a year?
Well, it varies 20 to 25 probably.
Okay. What does the planning look like when you're looking for acts? Does that change from town to town, like with the demographics? You need to have a different act that resonates more with them. What do you look for in things like that?
Well, I guess the biggest thing about the rodeo business is how much it's changing, and how it's changing is the production aspect of it. We used to be just strictly a turnkey rodeo operation. You write us one check, you sell tickets, you sell sponsors, you provide security, and the fairgrounds. That's it. We do the rest of it. So announcers, specialty act, timers, clowns, bullfighters, pickup men, bucking horses, deal with PRCA, everything. And a lot of the rodeo committees are starting to take over that because they want it more specialized for their event, and they want to have more control over it. So that's great. That's not how Ike did it. That's not how a lot of old rodeo contractors did it, but it's allowed us to really focus on bucking horses, kind of like Chancey was talking about.
I was like, just same thing, yeah.
It's just it's a huge industry, and it's all tied together.
Yeah. Pretty much every show we've had this week, it's come up how rodeo has changed and how this generation has to be approached differently than your dad's generation of it's just this turnkey thing. This is how it's done. It's been done this way forever. That's how we're going to do it. I feel like some of the people in our industry are kind of still stuck in that way, right? Of just change is hard and we don't want to change, but for the whole thing to grow, we have to change. So hearing how you're adjusting and how your whole business is changed, essentially, you're able to really focus on the livestock, your actual job. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if your goal in life is not to get better, then you suck. So everybody's got to find a drive. This is a little philosophical for this conversation, but you got to have the drive to get better, and that's what rodeo's starting to do in different areas, and it's starting to show. I mean, look at the people that are coming to rodeo. Look at the people that are coming to the Western lifestyle.
Right.
They say it's because of Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan, which absolutely that's got a lot to do with it. But if we suck at our job, they're not going to stay.
No,
right.
Absolutely not.
Well, like Wade was at the front end of the DNA tests and horses. I was, a lot of the old timers didn't want that. They don't they've done it in race horses forever. They know exactly where these horses come from. And Steve Stone, Casey Donahue's old bass player, was involved in that. And I was visiting with Steve one day at a concert. And he's like, man, I can't get many of these stock contractors to call me back. He's like, they don't want any part to do with this. And I said, man, I'm friends with a few of those guys in Wyoming that might want to do it. They might not. I was like, I can at least get you in contact. And I called Wade, and Wade's like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have done this, but I'm in. But that's where somebody like Wade knows, like, the business is changing. In the long run, little things like that will make the rodeo business better, where you can say this horse did come from this generation of horses versus, like, just somebody's word of mouth being like, oh, yeah, that horse is out of Custer or whatever. Was it? Like, so just these different little ways of changing the game. And we see it in music, people call our agency and want us to do a concert. Like, well, we've done it right here for all these years, and this is the way we've done it. And we'll maybe seen how it went. Like, we could help you improve that. Like, you should do it over here, set it up, all these things different. But the younger committee members are always like, this is great. They're hungry, but there's a couple on the board sometimes, and that's probably in every industry. It's not broke, don't fix it. But like Wade said, if you're not wanting to be better, what's the point? Like, if we're all just happy with the way it is, that's not a good mentality.
I think a common quality we see, and it really doesn't matter what you do, people that are really successful, is they're able to kind of put their ego to the side, and even if it's something they're uncomfortable with at first, investigate further and see if it's going to help them. And it usually is, for me, it's been the biggest moves that I've made is when things I've been presented with. At first, it made me kind of say, what the, I don't want to know. This is going great. And I step back and look at it. Maybe, I actually needed to hear that, and that is going to help me out a lot in the future. So it's just cool to hear about two totally different industries, but really the mindset is the same about how you approach it.
We grew up the same as just Wyoming rodeo cowboys, but we're in different paths, but both still involved in rodeo. But like Wade said, we're in the entertainment business, and always be growing. I was talking to Ryan Growney last night, who's involved obviously at the South Point, but the NFR, how to make the opening thing better. We've done it 5 times and it's great, but like in my opinion, as an entertainer, it could be cooler, it could be better.